Hi guys, welcome to my channel Squatty Vibes. So I'm back again with another video. So I'm back, and this is basically going to be three-part video, well, a word that is broken in three parts, okay, that my creator would like me to share for 2021 and beyond. As I did mention in my previous video, when it comes to the kingdom, the 1st of February was the beginning of 2021. Okay, so this is me just dropping that wisdom and just giving some clarity in terms of confirmations are those who've been waiting to hear what our creator has to say for the year of 2021, all right, and beyond. But this is 2021 and beyond. I'll break it into three parts. So part one is going to be wisdom, right, which is what I'm going to be discussing on this video, and then part two is going to be favor, and part three is going to be disaster. Okay, so wisdom, favor, disaster, three-part word. So leaders, because I lead leaders that lead followers. Like I don't even know how to stress how important which the season that we in when it comes to having this thing called an ear and actually listening. Okay, we need to just listen, like listen. Okay, so before I start with this video or this word from our creator, I'll just like to do a prayer to bring him in the midst. Okay, our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. My creator, come before your throne. I'm about to share the words that you have installed in my heart, my Father, to share with your children, to explain to them or to break down what you would like me to share, as I'm about to utterly be your words that come out of my mouth, which is wisdom, my Father. I give you all the glory and the highest adoration, my Father. I thank you and I honor you and I worship you. In your name I pray. Amen. Okay, that was me praying to my creator to use me as a vessel as I'm about to utter the words that he would like me to share for the year 2021 and beyond. That is critical that you add 2021 and beyond, because February 1 was when 2021 started. Okay, awesomeness for the kingdom. Because I don't speak world, I speak kingdom. I don't speak world. Okay, let's get that straight. So part one is wisdom, but which is heart activation, right? So those who are new to my channel, I will sense check myself by going back to my notes to make sure that I'm still on the right track, right? So basically our creator asked me that Zara, the Bible, I need to just do Bible keywords. Like when I say keywords, it's what he has revealed to me of being keywords or something that pops like of important, like the keynotes of the Bible in terms of the things in the season that we need to know. Okay, so before I start that, I'd like to just this is jam-packed, there's so much. But how I'd like to break this down is, before I started, I need to just, because when we speak about the Bible, let's just start it there. Let's start it from the beginning. It's always better to start it from the beginning. So when we speak about the Bible, you know the stories, Adam and Eve and blah blah blah. Like that is the beginning, which is Genesis, right? So I'm gonna speak to the beginning according to what my creator has led me, right? Not saying Genesis is not the one that is written in the Bible, but now, as I said, I am working for God's kingdom, meaning that it is him that speaks, not what is written. So my creator led me to, this is my beginning. So we go into the book of Proverbs, which is Proverbs 8 verse 22. That's where we are going. I already wrote it down, so I will not read the verse, but I would like you to read this verse, which is Proverbs 8 verse 22. This is wisdom, right? So our creator says, on the book of Proverbs 8 verse 22. Before earth there was energy, right? So that energy is called wisdom. It was hovering the earth. So when our Creator speaks of wisdom, our Creator is speaking about a feminine energy, right? So before He created this planet called Earth, there was wisdom. There was there next to Him, right? Feminine energy is planet Earth. That's why it's called Mother Earth, right? So that's why we need to just start in the foundation before we get to the stories, okay? And then our Creator says, I created this energy called wisdom, right? To live in harmony, peace being the energy that is on that is produced, right? And then joy being the feeling, like the joy needs to be the feeling of the land, and then love being the expression. So that is paradise. When the people are speaking about paradise, that is what paradise is. It's the energy that people live in this planet called Earth, right? So, and then my Creator says, the job of wisdom, which is the energy, was to birth the Son of Man. That's us, human beings, right? Because wisdom is a life giver, meaning that wisdom is a woman. It's a life giver. It gives life. So to the first life that it gave to wisdom, the first life that it gave, because if you go to the book of Proverbs 8 verse 22, I'm breaking it down according to what I took out of the book of Proverbs. You will just get the full gist of what this is when it comes together, because I speak to leaders that lead followers. So when I say go read it for you, understand what I'm saying. So the first, when God was creating the earth, wisdom was already there. That's what we need to understand. So there was no sun, there was no moon, there was no water, there was no mountain. Wisdom birth. Wisdom birth, because the energy of planet Earth is life giver. The nature nourishes. What does a mother do? It takes care. The energy. So that's why you find that along the years you'll get people saying, calling like saying different names, like Mother Earth, saying Lady Wisdom, saying feminine energy, goddess. It's the same thing, which is wisdom. That's the energy that is on planet, hovers on planet Earth. It is wisdom, right? So we need to understand that. That's why you need to listen. We're not talking stories, we're talking what our Creator says, which is true, which is what is, right? So bottom line, wisdom is the first of God's creation, because from wisdom came wisdom birthed nature, and then from nature our Creator made us. This is a body suit. He breathed life into us, meaning that there were two energies, which is a female or feminine rather, and a masculine energy. There was no one taking out of anyone's rib. There was no one, because you must understand the bottom, the foundation, to understand the agenda, because things have been changed to suit a specific agenda. But when it comes to God's creation, the energy right now on earth is a feminine energy, which is wisdom, right? When I say energy, it's because God is, that's why I say he's my creator. He's the creator of energies. And the first energy, because we are energy ourselves. Just the bodysuit is what we're able to walk, the hands, but we are energy. So understanding that is also critical. That's why you will hear me. I'm not speaking about a human being. The energy itself that is on earth is feminine rather. Let me just put it that way, because I don't want to get worldly about it, because it becomes very touchy, especially with the world that has been created, where the truth is very, very sketchy. Like people get the people are so scared of the truth. But if you're being fake and you're carrying on with propaganda and talking nonsense and speaking things that their forefathers shared with them, then everyone is comfortable. But we're not doing that, because we work for God's kingdom. We don't work for the kingdom of the world. So we are going to speak truth, and we're going to speak it because God gives us authority to speak truth in this lifetime, which is the online age. So we need to share truth, not share things that have been passed on according to people's lack of understanding. So Adam and Eve, we are not entertaining that story, because that story is like, it's a story, you know, like Disney, you know, they write stories and they make movies. But when it comes to what God created, when it comes to this earth, that is, so you must go on Proverbs 8 verse 22, so you can just have your own understanding in terms of what God wants to share with you directly. Okay, so let's move forward. We know that Adam and Eve is a myth. It's just a story. We're in Genesis, we're breaking it down. So if you ask why it's there, scholars and writers, authors, but it's not from God, so we're not going to entertain my energy is exclusive. I'm not going to be. God is the one that you ask questions to, reveal questions. You don't ask why did people do this? They know the reason. It has nothing to do with you. Just ask questions that is able to build you to be able to share what is true. That's what's important, right? So we need to understand that there's a missing part of this, which is the book of Enoch, which explains the change from wisdom, not like the change, but the opposite of energy, right? Which is because human beings are mortal beings, so immortal beings that were described in the book of Enoch are the beings that came on earth, right? And they emerged with the Son of Man, meaning that they produced, they rebelled basically against God, and they lived in wickedness, disorder being their energy, sorrow being their feeling, and they ate, hate being the expression that they use. So it's an opposite of what God is. So that's why we are that's why we are living in the times that we're living in. Basically, it's what my creator wants me to share when it comes to the beginning, the real beginning, in terms of that shift, what really happened. That's where things started changing in terms of the energy of planet Earth, where everything was just like diluted and wickedness was taking over. Okay, meaning that you need to understand though the foundation of how God made us, our nature, our true nature, and why now we're being misled, manipulated, because these energies, they hover and they say things, you know, they can get into your head, you know. I say it's an energy because it's an energy of wickedness, you know. Some people call it Baal, devil, whatever, but it's nothing, bottom line. All right, so the truth is we need to just be aware, rather, or just be comfortable, rather. Let me just put it that way. We need to be comfortable with the truth, right? Being comfortable with the truth is knowing that the Bible is African history. The oldest people that have been on this planet are Africans, meaning that they've been here 1 billion of years, meaning the two people that were made with the feminine and with the masculine energy were two like melanated beings, right? We're not speaking from the world perspective, we're speaking from the kingdom, and that's the truth. That's why I'm saying we need to be comfortable in just knowing that this book, when it speaks, especially when it's talking about the Old Testament, this is African history documented. That's why when people say there's no African history documented, I'm like, why don't you just pick up the Bible? It's there. So we need to just understand that our creator, when it comes to key words that he wants us to just understand, these are the key words when it comes to Genesis. This is me dropping those key words. The story of Noah, you know, because of this energy that was around, the cleanup had to happen. Noah was chosen for that. Abraham, because of the energy that was around. Sarah doubted God because that energy started speaking to her, and then she started having fear and doubt because it was hovering because of the immortal beings coming together with humans and producing. And then when God wiped out, that still remained. That's why people call it demons and this, because it can sneak. It's because it's sneaking. It doesn't have any authority in your life, none whatsoever. So we need to just know our foundation of what we're reading to understand. That's why I'm just going key things that God wants us to know in the season. All right. Not going through like the whole Bible now, but just explaining the key things. So we need to return to the truth. It goes back to what I just explained. Because if you're comfortable in the truth, things don't shake you. Because kingdom is all about the truth. There's no space for entertaining your spiritual immaturity. We can't be spiritually immature, because that you will lean in your own understanding and then fear will kick in. No, right? We need to just return to the we need to return to the we need to remove ourselves, right? I'm just trying to phrase it the right way. We need to remove ourselves from the love of power and from the love of power to the power of love, right? Which was the original human expression of earth, which is God. God is love, right? So nature is our mother. From like, I don't know why people don't like nature, because you are part of it. Like, he took you from clay and he made breathe life to you. You are part of it. So that's wisdom. Because she birthed the mountains. She birthed every single thing before you even arrived. Go to Proverbs 8 verse 22. Start at 22 and just start from the top. Proverbs 8. Read the whole thing. You'll have an understanding. Okay, that was Genesis. That was me breaking down Genesis. So let's move to Exodus. What are the key words when it comes to Exodus? This is going to be a long video. So when it comes to Exodus, our Creator says, I am merciful, gracious, slow to anger in my covenant. I am faithful. I forgive sin, right? But I will not leave. You need to hear this one. But I will not leave the wicked unpunished. Those who are like, but why are these people are wicked, like flourishing and living it up? Let me read that again. I am merciful, gracious, slow to anger in my covenant. I am faithful. I forgive sin, but I will not leave wickedness unpunished. So I'm not going to go deeper in that. We'll definitely break it down in part 3, which is disaster. You will understand that even better. So Musa famously known as Moses, obviously is chosen for Pharaoh. Pharaoh meaning that was the dictator of the time. That was the person who was the problem child of the time, meaning that when it comes to these energies, they were his best friend. Basically, he built a house for them, they lived with him. So idol worship, obviously, when you engaging with these type of energies, idol worship, wickedness, it's like, this is what we do. So our Creator confronts evil. It doesn't do this. Our Creator confronts evil. It's not like, if our Creator confronts evil, why are we shying away from confronting things that are, it's one thing to confront evil, and it's another thing to just be like in people's business. So we just need to know that as well. So our Creator in every generation redeems his people, regardless of the evil that is in the land. He redeems his people. He gives them a promised land. He gives them a promised land, no matter what is happening in the land. Okay, so that's what we learn from Exodus, Leviticus, right? So what we learn there is that everything that is our Creator is good, and it's love. Everything that is our Creator is good, and it is love. So God's presence is energy, right? But God is everything and everywhere. but his presence is energy. So that means he's the powerhouse, because he gives energy to energy. He creates, and like he created wisdom, which is energy that birth. So when you hear what I just said, his energy creates energy. like like powerhouse has like like God, like guys, we need to know God. When you hear what I just said, his energy creates energy that creates you. I can't even. So we need to understand the times, as I did mention, that truth should be something that is just in us, not like, you shouldn't be like scared of the truth, it shouldn't be something that shakes you. So the Bible is African history, meaning these are tribal times. When we're speaking about Leviticus, these are tribal times, meaning that the people of the time were tribal. They lived with animals, they were interlinked with animals. So when our Creator is speaking here about the role of the animal, the animal sacrifice, it was like even in our times in Africa, this is still being performed because of the generational thing if someone doesn't, But let me explain this in terms of Leviticus, what our Creator is saying here in terms of our key words. The role of animals were used as thanksgiving, meaning that we're thanking our Creator for giving us rain. Rain, because you must understand, giving thanks, it's from the smallest things. It's not like now we got gold, okay, now we can sacrifice animals, or it was from the smallest thing. It could be small in the eye of someone that is not connected, doesn't understand the connection of you and nature. But the people back then, tribal people, understood that nature is us. So when God blesses us and blesses the land with water, we need to give thanks, So giving thanks, I'll take an animal, sacrifice it because they respect animal. That's why it was sacrificed, because we're respecting your life that is working on you. Now we're going to sacrifice you so we can eat, okay? And then a priesthood, meaning that in the modern terms that was changed, but when we're speaking about what is, it was a shaman, a role of a traditional healer. That, because we're speaking African, we're speaking tribal, right? Because we're speaking truth. So that person will be anointed, blessed to be in the presence of our Creator. So this person is a mediator, meaning that they're mediating between the ancestors and the presence of our Creator to speak to the people. So when the animal sacrifice is being done, they are doing it. And they are sacrificing the animal to say thank you, or they're sacrificing the animal to say forgive us, because remember that the energy is still around that manipulates people, right? So that was what animal sacrifice was about, right? And then so before, you must understand, in order for us to understand why nature was very, very, very important part of the way people lived, because people ate vegetables like green. They ate only things that was there in terms of nature. They didn't eat animals. So once an animal is sacrificed, it's for something. It wasn't just like, let me have steak and have pork, like now, like how we're living now. Animals were really respected. And our Creator states this in the book of Genesis 1 verse 30, that I gave you this green land, or a nature, to eat, the leaves to eat. So he states that, and then he's explaining the purity part of it, because you are what you eat. And that's why sometimes you have to fast for us to hear the voice of God, because there's some of the food that we may eat is unclean, and it tampers with our what's happening inside. So he was just explaining that, making people understand of the time of what's happening, right? So we move on to Numbers. What do we learn? Key things that we learn in Numbers. 12 tribes of they're in the wilderness. They're led by Musa, who is Moses, and they are lost, because the wilderness means that you are like you are, and when you like that, you're not getting, like, where's the pin? These energies can come through. Like, okay, we'll give you directions. They're speaking to you. That's why, yeah. So this is a new generation, and Moses was a leader. Was telling them, you and oh no, that now that's Deuteronomy. Okay, Numbers. We're still in Numbers. So Musa is leading them, but they're rebelling against God because of the searching for something while you're not listening to your leader that's been appointed and chosen to lead you to where you're supposed to go, right? So they decide to do their own idol thing. That's the key point. But God is still faithful, gives them the commandments as a way of life. Okay, this is how I want you to live. As a way of life, this is how I want you to live. In Numbers, Deuteronomy, what is the key thing that we're taking out of there? The new generation, right, is still in the wilderness, meaning they also still trying to find the pin. Like, the pin is dropped, but they're still trying to find the pin. So Musa is old now. There's another generation that is still busy with the shenanigans of idol worship, right? So he speaks to this new generation because you can see now I'm old, but listen to me. Listen, obey, and love. Because that's what your ancestors didn't want to do. They didn't want to listen, they didn't want to obey, and they did not want to love. So that's the words that I'm leaving with you. Okay, so we move to Joshua. So now Joshua is the leader of the new generation that is finally going to get the people to the promised land, right? So this is now after 40 years of people trying to find the pin of the location of where are we going. So God shows his power once again, like he parts Jordan, because he did it when they came out of Egypt. He parts Jordan, and God is teaching us here that, he's teaching us morals. Like, he's teaching us behavior when it comes to Joshua. He's teaching us who he is, his power. Power. Created everything. If I want to part it, I can part it like this. Judges. So in Judges, we are learning about the cycle of sin, that each generation, it gets passed on if no one wants to break it, right? That it becomes a pattern, this idol worship thing, and that the dark times in Judges were upon the people, right? Wickedness was controlling the people. It was out of control, right? So we stop there because we are on the Old Testament. The New Testament I'll definitely break down in part 2, which is Favour. That's when I'll break down the New Testament to just explain that, right? So the Old Testament is what I will be sharing on this video. So what are the key things that we're taking out? My creator directed me to just stop at Judges, right? So when it comes to the Old Testament, holds the key of everything that follows, meaning that everything that follows after that, it's either a repetition, it's either people are being warned, it's because of the pattern that's already been created. Because we are energy, right? It lives. So you need to notice those generational patterns in order for you to understand what the things that your ancestors did and did not listen, did not obey, so we can change, right? It's important to obey. It's important to listen. It's important to love. And yes, there'll be mistakes that are made, but it is important for you to learn from them, right? So what are we learning when it comes to the Old Testament is that the generation of rebellion, like rebels that lived in fear, is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges. The people were out of, they were just, the people of those times was just out of control. They did not listen, right? And then the generation of kings and queens, that's the times of Ruth, Samuel, Kings, Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job. So this was the kingdom rule, right? Where you will be tested because of so much ego that was in the land, with these kings were thinking that they are gods now, and so much greed. Kings wanted to be worshipped. So God will test you that what are you going to do? Are you going to worship me, or what's happening in the land, right? So we move to the wisdom generation. That's when it was born. Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes. I always don't know how to say that word. Songs of Solomon. This is the wisdom generation. It's when the generation of wisdom was born, right? So the prophetic generation is born when Isaiah comes Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel. It goes on to Malachi, but I'm going to just name the main ones which God, because we're speaking key words here that means what matters for where we are now, right? Which is Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Daniel, right? That is the prophetic generation. So meaning that they were not just speaking to the times, but they were speaking to generations to come. Okay, that's key to understand as well. So which generation are we in? We are in the generation of heart transformation. We are the generation of heart transformation. God is transforming people's hearts, right? So we are the ones that need to activate the hearts of people to go to their true essence. Remember our true essence, which is wisdom, right? Let me just remind you. He created us to live in harmony, peace being our energy, joy being our feeling, love being our expression. That's paradise. So that's what our true essence is, right? Peace, love, joy, unity, that is within, right? So that's the type of leader you need to, that's the type of leader that you need to be for your followers, right? You need to direct them in love, okay? You need to direct your followers in love, okay? So we are connected, so we need to help each other. You know, tree of life, as I always say, tree of life, we water each other to grow, okay? So you don't judge people. You're not God. That's not your job. That's God's job. As I said in my previous video, God doesn't need assistance. He's holding this down, like this throne, he's holding it down. He doesn't need assistance. So let's not be judging people, right? Your spiritual gift is key to your transformation. So I mean, your spiritual gift is it's key to like guiding you to the right direction. Your spiritual, and then your transformation is key to God's kingdom, because God is transforming the heart. So now, even if you say, I love people, I'm this, and that, in your heart, you can't enter the kingdom with a heart that is not right, and you have no love. Love is everything, love is God. Okay? So we need to just have a personal relationship with God so we understand what He has planned for us, right? And the people, like my previous video, I did speak about this, the people that are still holding on to the generation of church, and you need to let go, right? The church building generation is over. That season is gone. We are online. So if God hasn't spoken or revealed that in your heart, this is me revealing it right now. The church generation is over. We are in a season of being online, okay? So we need to just understand that we are servants. We are an online generation, and it is okay to be an online generation. So yeah, that was the part 1 of a 3-part word from our creator, message rather. So that was wisdom, me breaking down the keywords, rather, the most important thing that he would like us to know when it comes to this generation in terms of the Bible. All right, so on my side, I'm just checking what else. Yo, I was fast in that. I feel like I was but hey, I guess that's how the spirit was working through me, like to be like, hey. So it is what it is. You can always go back. So that's the nice thing about pausing and whatever. So yeah, on my side, love and light. Do stay blessed.